February 25th was Madeline Soto's 13th birthday party, a big day in any child's life, celebrating the end of one phase and the start of the next, the teen years. But tragically for Madeline, this was not the beginning of her teen years. It was the end of her life. She was reported missing the next day, but investigators believe she was already dead by 8:19 the following morning. They also say she was in the car of a man named Stephan Sterns, her mother Jen Soto's boyfriend. Stephan is currently locked up after police found disturbing images on his phone, resulting in 20 counts of child sex abuse-related charges and 40 charges involving hundreds of images and videos of that abuse. Madeline's body was found 4 days later, 22 miles from her home, and tonight, we return to the scene, examining the location where Madeline was recovered. How could someone discard a body here in broad daylight? And what about the environment the body was in? Will the ME be able to recover useful evidence from the autopsy? What is the status of the murder investigation, and when will someone be charged? Tonight, we take a look at these questions live on the ground in Central Florida as we investigate the tragic life and death of Madeline Soto. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. We have a big hour straight ahead, and of course, we're beginning with the case involving Madeline Soto. You think about what happened to this young girl. She turns 13, and then she's discarded, tossed, dead on the side of the road in some brush in Central Florida. Yes, it reminds us of another case of another young girl who was also discarded off of the side of the road in some brush. We know how that turned out. That's why we've got a lot of focus on this story, on this case, taking a look at each and every piece of evidence connected to this girl who had just celebrated her 13th birthday. And we think about what a significant day that is, right? You know, I remember when I was, boasting to everyone, I'm a teenager now, right? I'm not a kid anymore, I'm a teenager. And as I sit here tonight, I'm just wondering if that was what Madeline was saying. And was that perhaps the reason that someone took her life? Because now she was maturing. She was becoming more grown up, and maybe was feeling the power and the ability to speak out about what was happening to her. Now, Stephan Sterns is the suspect. And the day that his so-called, and I say so-called because I have a hard time saying this, his so-called stepdaughter disappeared, he had a really strange day. Like, what was going on? Really strange day. He's apparently at the dumpster at 7:35 in the morning. What's going on there? Well, we kind of know what's going on there. Then he's driving all around. Like, did he have work? Was he delivering for Uber Eats? What was he doing? Where was he going? Why was he there? Why did he get a flat tire? Where did he go to get this flat tire? What was he doing on that side of town? Because he's not close to where I think he lives with Jen and Madeline. So on the same day that his stepdaughter goes missing, he gets a flat tire, missing child, same day. Does that make any sense to you? Is that like just a really bad day? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. My stepdaughter went missing and I got a flat tire. Got a flat tire doing what? Where? When? Why? We're going to talk about all this tonight. All of this tonight. Because this is a big part of this story. We're going to try to tie it together and see if there is a connection to all of it as we return to the scene. We, Closing Arguments, Court TV, returning to the scene of where Madeline's body was recovered. Important. So let's go back in time. Let's listen to Chief Betty Holland from the Kissimmee Police Department describing information that they knew at the time that this was a missing persons case.
Please share this crime line bulletin on my right. of Stephan Sterns. He was last seen driving a silver 2010 Lincoln MKZ. The Florida tag is IYLL82. On Monday, February 26th, between 1 and 2:30 p.m. in the area of State Road 192 and Old Hickory Tree Road, as well as Old Hickory Tree Road and Nolte Road. During this time frame, it is believed that Sterns had a flat tire and might have been seen changing the tire in this area. If anyone saw this vehicle or noticed anything suspicious, we're asking that they call Crime Line.
Okay, so based upon what the chief said, let's take a look at a map so you understand the area that we're talking about and what exactly it means. And we begin, of course, with the location of Madeline's remains. And you look at that area, very green, not a lot of development. It's near a body of water. Now, State Road 192, a bit of a main road down there, a main highway. I remember when I lived in the area, I would drive on 192. And there you see where 192 goes. Now, let's take a look at Hickory Tree Road. Significant part of this, that's where the body's found, on Hickory Tree Road. And you see Hickory Tree Road kind of loops around and connects to 192 in two different spots. Now, Nolte Road, where's Nolte Road? Let's take a look at Nolte. Nolte kind of runs east and west, going from more of that St. Cloud area towards the Kissimmee area. And finally, they mentioned Old Hickory Tree Road. So you've got regular Hickory Tree, then you've got Old Hickory Tree Road, which connects 192 and Nolte. And that is significant here as you take a look at the map, those two dots. And that's where police seem to be directing us towards for this flat tire. But is it Old Hickory Tree Road? Is it Hickory Tree Road closer to where Madeline is found? Well, let's do a little investigation. And when I say investigation, I mean let's go to Court TV producer Cody Thomas, joining us live tonight from outside the Kissimmee Police Department, who's heading up this investigation. He has spent all day today down there. So let's start with where you went today. Give us sort of the backstory, where you went, why you were going there.
Well, good evening, Vinny. Of course, we went down Hickory Tree Road where Madeline Soto's body was ultimately found by the Osceola Police Department. And as I was going down that road today, I noticed on either side there's not really much there. It's pretty flat. I know she was found in a wooded area. And of course, as we kept going down that 3 to 4 mile span of road, we ended up finding the exact place where she was found, signified by a memorial by the community. Let's take a look. So we just turned onto Hickory Road where Madeline Soto's body was found, not to be confused with Old Hickory Road. That's where police and investigators say they did catch Stephan Sterns in that 2010 Lincoln MKZ changing a tire the morning of February 26th when Maddie Soto went missing. But as we look out here on Hickory Road, we see that it's pretty flat. There are some wooded areas to the left, but it's pretty flat, not too hilly. There's some cows out here, some private farmland. It's a little bit residential, not too busy. We've seen 4, 5, maybe 6 cars tops, and we've been on the road maybe about a mile, a little over a mile. And as I'm noticing some of these light posts, there's no sort of security camera type deal going on out here. And again, on either side of the road, it's pretty flat. You know, not many woods except for way back at the tree line, at the wood line off the land away from the road. I don't see much wooded area up towards the asphalt. But that's not to say there isn't some of those areas as we continue on down the road. Now, as we continue on down Hickory Road, we are starting to see a couple more cars. There were 3 that just passed us right there. And actually, as we're coming up down here, I see some cars parked off to the right, or to the left of me, excuse me. And this actually looks like on the right, if you look up to the right of the road, that is it. That's the exact spot where Maddie Soto was found. You can see that memorial. We have some community members out here putting some things together. So, and these trees right here off to my right, that is where Maddie Soto's body was found dead by police. Now, we are actually at that site on Hickory Road where Madeline Soto's body was found. And if you follow me and look down the stretch of this road, there's not much on either side. I know she was found in a wooded area. It's kind of desolate on the left, a little desolate on the right. you could easily view something from the road if you're passing by. But right here behind me is the memorial site, actually where she was found, right in between those trees. And we actually have some community advocate members out here with us, and they tell us that one of them actually has been in contact with the owner of this land right here behind me. And that day, that morning of February 26th, they say that gate was open. They've talked to this owner of this land. The gate was open, and that owner is mourning because now they're having those thoughts. What if the gate was closed? What could I have done different? But ultimately, again, right over here between these trees is where Madeline Soto was found, here on Hickory Road. Now, just across the street here in this area, this little divot off of Hickory Road, is where a witness online describes where he saw Stephan Sterns kneeling down, changing a tire that morning of February 26th when Maddie Soto went missing. Now you can see it's just a little gravel divot, a lot of flat land back here, private farmland. Now, police described the area they saw that flat tire situation on Old Hickory Road. There's an Old Hickory Road and a Hickory Road. Hickory Road, again, across the street where Madeline Soto's body was found. So there could be a little confusion as far as what witnesses may or may not have saw between the two, that is Hickory Road and Old Hickory Road. But one thing we do know, again, right across the street and that tree line behind that memorial over the fence is where Madeline Soto's body was found on March 1st. And Vinny, as we stood there for the half hour, maybe 45 minutes, we were there at least 5, 6, 7 people pulled up to that memorial, adding more things, teddy bears, notes from all over the country, paying their respects to Madeline Soto and her family.
So a couple things jumping out to me tonight, Cody. Number one, it's flat, right? Florida is generally flat, and that area is absolutely flat, right? So you have the wooded area where the body could be secreted, but to get the body there, if you're parked on the side of the road and you got your trunk open, your door open, whatever, anyone driving by is going to see it. It's the middle of the day.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, where I was standing at, I was looking right across. It wasn't even 30 feet away from it. And if it's broad daylight, there's cars coming by, you would easily be seen. There's no way you would not be seen. Those trees are right there, maybe 10, 12 feet from the road, right behind that fence where the memorial is sitting with all the teddy bears and the windmills and everything like that. So you would easily be seen by a car coming by.
To think, right? So the question becomes this flat tire. Is this flat tire some sort of a ruse? Is there a flat tire and then at the moment there's a flat tire? Could he have allegedly gotten rid of the body because he had a flat tire? Or was the flat tire a reason to park on the side of the road? And in case someone saw him, there'd be a reason for him to be on the side of the road. Either way, it seems like, based upon that witness account in that area where you were, that's like right there. It's right there. It's the same. It's basically the same spot across the street.
Right across the street. Again, that's a great observation. Literally right across the street, no more than 20, maybe 30 steps. And to your point, like it could have been a ruse. It could have been an act just to seem as if you were doing something else just to take an alleged dead body and go dump it across on that private land. But until we know more information, that's still up in the air.
Absolutely. So from your observations today, obviously a little bit more traffic because people are coming to pay their respects to Madeline, but how many cars that aren't stopping there are coming by during the time you're there, middle of the day, much like is alleged here that it could have happened in the middle of the day?
Middle of the day, we were out there close to an hour. We probably counted maybe tops 20 cars. 15, somewhere between 15 and 20. So it's not a very populated area. There's not much traffic coming through there. And again, it's pretty desolate either way. And that whole span of the road is maybe 3-4 miles long, no street lights. So if it's dark, it's really dark. But again, this was taking place in the broad open daylight, and there were still not many cars coming by.
Right. And if you're there at night, I don't even know how you would find your way around. And an important piece of information, though, that the gate was open. If the gate's not open, there's no way for the body to be hidden near the wood line. It'd have to be right there, much more out in the open. So as you were there, you mentioned cars were stopping, people were stopping, so you bumped into some folks there. What are they saying?
Of course, they're saying the community is mourning this loss. And the people that were there that I saw were actually community advocates fighting for child abuse victims statewide across Florida. But one of them was a mom, and she says that this has completely torn her apart. She understands what Maddie Soto's family is going through dealing with this loss. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Keeping the site tidy. The property owners were kind enough to let us keep the memorial honoring Madeline Soto, and for the family and friends to have a place to come and mourn and pray and remember Madeline. These are gifts that people within the community have brought, as well as people from other parts, pretty much all around the world. People from Ireland, from Texas. A lady contacted me with address because she wanted to send her present for Madeline, and pretty much, ensuring that also balloons are not brought on site, anything with strings, because this is a working farm. There's cattle, there's animals that need to be protected.
And of course, Vinny, that woman says that the community is trying to bond together, bonding as they're mourning, but she says that's the only way that this community is ever going to try to get over this terrible situation.
So, and this information is really eye-opening tonight, right? Being on the ground, to me, it's a much different perception I have of the area and what happened here. And then when it comes to the search, I mean, I've got to think that if police believe that search area or the area where he was spotted is across the street in that little turnaround area, the search makes sense, right? That particular area makes sense on Hickory Tree Road, not Old Hickory Tree Road. If he's changing the tire on Old Hickory Tree Road, there's a lot more ground to cover. Like that's pretty far away from where you are. It's not like a walking distance or anything else. So there would be almost no reason to search the area where she was found unless there was some sort of connection to the suspect here, which is the changing of the tire.
And that is exactly right. We actually rode on Old Hickory Tree Road, and like you said, that was about 15 to 20 minutes away by car. So imagining walking that far, let alone with a body in a book bag or a sack or whatever it may be, not happening. 0% happening. So to your point, for them to search in that area, there had to be a connection, there had to be some sort of sighting, something that put him in the vicinity for them to even begin to look there and ultimately end up finding her body there.
Yeah, because, and this, I mean, again, this is the middle of nowhere. These are farms, 22 miles from Kissimmee, 15 minutes from this Old Hickory Tree Road. So I believe someone had to give them information to get them there, and it makes sense if this witness said that he was in that little turnaround area and saw the suspect there with a tire iron, maybe changing his. That makes so much sense tonight, because without it, I mean, what reason would investigators have to search the area you were in? Like, it's nowhere near their home. It's not near this so-called Old Hickory Tree.
And again, Vinny, it is sort of, in all senses of the phrase, in the middle of nowhere. It was slightly residential, and by that I mean maybe 5 or 6 houses that were sitting on big plots of land, but there's not a lot of people coming through there. So to even have an idea to be out there, there had to be some sort of connection. Absolutely.
All right, Cody Thomas, Court TV producer, is on the ground in Central Florida, getting reports all week this week. I know you've got a lot of ground to cover down there, so great job tonight, Cody. We'll speak to you again.